It's Ashley, your lovable fat alternative host of this podcast, Aren't You Exhausted? And today we are discussing Amberlynn Reid because, of course, this is my podcast talking on the internet's most loved and hated fellow fatties. Don't worry, Chantal, we are going to dish on you too, girl. Tonight, I'm having my fiance Liam join me. Say hi, Liam.
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
And he's just going to be giving kind of his perspective on everything. Even though he doesn't follow these people as closely as I do, he kind of knows what's going on.
I'll be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'll be like...
He'll be the voice of reason.
Not even the voice of reason, just the voice of, like... I have no stake in this race or whatever the terminology is supposed to be, so... I'll just be like, well, I don't know their whole past, so I'll judge based on the information I'm given, less of past information, as to give them a fair shake, I guess.
Anyhow, on we go with the newest upload from Miss Amby. She's kind of flapping that fat phobia deck of cards again and worries for the future of her channel with her weight loss success, or what she claims is her weight loss success. She claims in one breath that her community and subscribers are full of fat-phobic people and that they are the reason she chooses to upload her trolling content showing full body and doing the mukbangs to cater to those because those are the viewers of those types of videos, and they always do well. They do well because a good portion of her fan base are fetishizing her for her size and love to watch that kind of stuff and watching her stuff her gaping maw. And the other portion are a mix of reaction channels, troll accounts, and people duped into her delusion. What do you feel on the matter?
So, I mean, here's my thing, and this is going to be a controversial take, but so obviously, I'm into bigger women, and so like I'm with you, and I'm all into that, and so like I'm a skinny guy, so I can't really speak on it too much, but I feel like a lot of like what I see from like the videos and stuff that you've shown, a lot of people throw out fat phobic just as like people who aren't into fat people, and I'm like, that's like, I feel like everyone's allowed to have their own preference. And
also, those are a lot of troll accounts just throwing those comments around. There are other people that are commenting on her, like that are a part of her community and actually watch everything.
Here's the thing. You can scream till you're blue in the face that it's fat phobic, but let's be honest, I've seen the videos and she's not healthy. Like, so, it's one thing if somebody's a little bit bigger and you're like, wow, look at that fat pig or something, and it's like, that's not constructive criticism. That person's not like as big. Like, she can't walk. There's a certain point where it becomes, like, this is a medical problem, and like people commenting on it, there are going to be trolls, but as you've said, a lot of the comments tend to be like, hey, I'm legitimately worried about you. And I think that she lumps all those comments in and just like, everybody's jumping on me. But it's like, I mean, if you're going to post stuff on YouTube, you have to be ready for people to shit on you. I mean, that's just part of it. And that's why, like, I wouldn't even say it's the easy way out, but it technically, like, her day is what? Just sitting around eating and making a YouTube video, and that's it. Like, her life is easy. Her life is easy in that sense. So, so there has to be some sort of consequence for that. And the consequence for that is she puts herself out there, and she's going to have to deal with that kind of shit. But, as you've said, a lot of people are legitimately worried about her, and she's worried about losing fans because she's gonna like lose weight, where it's like, first of all, she's jumping the gun. Yeah. Like, when she gets to the point where people aren't gonna call her fat, like, she's a ways away. Yeah. No offense. She's got a lot to lose before she can worry about that. And really, it's just, she needs to decide what's more important.
And I'm actually pretty surprised with how much Amberlynn likes talking about other people. An example, her ex Becky, well, any of her exes really, that she didn't bring up the loss of fellow lolcow Jennifer Gwen Ann. You would think in all of her experience with YouTube that she'd try to cash in on that by giving some narcissistic thoughts on the matter. but instead we got a mukbang or what I ate in a day and a therapy session. She got mad at her audience because the audience that she's accrued by eating on camera and gaslighting may lose interest in the success of her weight loss. She probably will lose views. I mean, who knows if she's gonna lose the views or not.
She's so worried about losing views, but like
she could gain views from people in the weight loss community that are seeing her doing well.
Here's the thing. I was going over this before that I don't know these people, but the few things I do know, wasn't this all a weight loss channel? Isn't that what started?
Yeah, that's how it started.
So like her to be like, I'm gonna lose views, like, bitch, you're gonna gain views because this is what you're finally doing the content you were originally promising. Like,
I mean, I think the views that she's accrued here as like the last few years have probably been more on the side of like trolls and reaction channels and
I mean, it's
like people
channels.
fetishizing the eating on camera and just being a larger body eating on camera. But yeah, to say that I feel like the views will fluctuate, but like that shouldn't be your main concern.
I feel like her life revolving around YouTube, like she has an audience, and I think that, you know, what's most important in her life should be her health.
Yeah.
So for her to worry so much about YouTube and stuff, like I get it, like she's worried about her job. So I understand to a certain degree, she needs income, and the thing is, this is the only job that's going to allow her to, like, realistically, she has a job that will allow her to full-time focus on getting healthy.
Yeah.
Like you and me, we don't have that luxury. Like once we're done working, we're fucking exhausted, but we're sitting around all day.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the luxury to we have to actually put the effort in to do anything of like, you know, moving around or exercise or anything like that. And you know, that's our own problems. But all she has to do is film a YouTube video. Like she could spend she should spend her whole day and like doing like, you know, either figuring out cooking a healthy meal. She has all day to do that. She has all day to find some time to do a little bit of exercise. And then she can spend the rest of her day doing whatever the hell she wants. But she doesn't want to do that. She wants to be big, and she doesn't want to do anything, and she wants to have an excuse not to do it. And the next excuse will be, well, you know, I was seeing I was losing views, so, you know, I guess I'll just give you guys what you want.
I'll go back to the mukbangs.
Right, and that's what it's gonna be, and it's gonna be like, I didn't fail, I have to put my career because I have to have money. But it's like, no, the truth is, your views are always gonna fluctuate because you piss people off and people stop watching and then they come back to see what's going on. That's just YouTube. Like,
and also you can't like hate on a lot of her audience that are like claiming that this is a cycle, because we've seen all this from Amberlynn before, and Liam has no idea about really the past of it, but she kind of does this repeatedly where she'll have a little bit of weight loss success and then she binges because of the commentary from her audience. She gets feeling bad for herself and loses all of that momentum, and it just goes back into another cycle where I think she could benefit from probably more therapy, especially since she's coming online and discussing this stuff and blaming her audience as opposed to talking somebody about like what's going on in her head and how this is not healthy. Especially like coming down to the question of, is my health more important or is my YouTube channel more important? Is my YouTube career more important? You answered the question in the video. She answered that her health is more important in the video, but I think only time will tell if the question that she answered was actually truthful, and we find out what that means for her channel, like where it's gonna go.
It just seems to me that she hits rock bottom and then she pulls herself a little bit out of there, and then she's like, okay, I'm no longer rock bottom, and then she brings herself right back to rock bottom. And it's, you know, it's the same thing where it's like she has a limit of what she's willing to let her body get to or let her health get to, and once she gets there, she's like, I gotta do something about this. And she does something about it for, you know, whatever it is, and then she starts seeing results, and then she's no longer at that point anymore. And then she goes back until she rewards herself until she's at that point, and it's an endless cycle. And, you know, it's just, I mean, I've said this to you before, because Ashley, you know, obviously talks about this kind of stuff and tells me what's going on, because I'm a caring, loving boyfriend, and I'm interested in her life. And fiance. I'm never gonna get that. Hopefully I'll just move right on to husband. Or just never. Didn't you get married? I swear after, this is off topic, but after the wedding, I'm going to go in and one day I'm going to say, yeah, my girlfriend's like, I thought I got married. I'm like, oh, I did. I just don't know how to actually change things in my life. But to me, it just seems like I've lost my train of thought. Move on to the next one.
Okay. On to Chantal, Foodie Beauty.
Right.
We got to see Repzion's newest cover of Nader that provided some insight into Chantal and Nader's somewhat tumultuous relationship, as well as how essentially Chantal helped to give him, a predator, a criminal, a platform to lure more gullible elderly women to fund his kind of bum lifestyle.
Can I just intercept here? So I know Nader, I know Chantal. I don't really know this other guy. Can you give me like quick bullet points, and maybe for anybody who's like doesn't know this situation, who is Repzion?
He's a YouTuber fairly much larger than anybody who we're discussing today, that does like deep dives into kind of problematic YouTubers. He did
like mini documentaries.
Onision, yeah.
Okay.
He did Onision. I know he's covered a few other people, but he does like, he really digs for the information.
Right.
And he wanted to look into Nader because Nader's been kind of problematic, and he doesn't even have a huge following online. I think he's got maybe 8,000 subscribers.
Okay.
But like I mentioned to you the last time we discussed this on his privated live stream, where he essentially got a hand job by Dee online.
And Dee is his girlfriend?
He's the woman it's the woman he's living with. Okay. I don't know if they're actually in a relationship, but it's just who he's living with. They're
just hand friends.
Yeah. Well, Chantal helped give that person a platform, and I personally have never seen the video footage of Nader before watching Repzion's video. I'd never seen the footage of Nader hitting and being aggressive with Dee, and it was kind of heartbreaking to hear her crying and calling out for her father to help her. It kind of brought back a lot of memories of my childhood and dealing with an abusive, narcissistic, drug-fueled father of my own. And hearing Nader tell Dee he'd sooner kill her than have her get confident enough to call the police on him, it's kind of terrifying. And the fact that YouTube is allowing somebody on the platform that they've been told numerous times, and like, it's scary.
It sounds like he needs another hand job.
I mean, he's terrifying, and I believe he shouldn't be allowed to have a platform on YouTube. And to do this to many more trusting and unsuspecting elderly women, because a lot of his moderators and stuff are between the ages of like 45 and 70. He's preying upon elderly women to fund his lifestyle.
Just if any 45-year-old women are listening to this, you're not elderly.
I mean, elderly in a sense, like older,
right.
More mature women.
Right. I just think of a 45-year-old woman sitting listening and be like, I'm not elderly.
I mean, I'm 37. I'm going to be 37. I have no room to talk about being elderly, but just the fact that he's being allowed to prey on these women. And though Chantal had no way of knowing that he would be as evil as we are finding now that he is, the fact that she continues to back him even after knowing how disgusting he is, it's truly something her family should be looking into helping her work through. Because if she still claims to love this man after we see that he's beaten Dee, like threatened violence on Dee, threatened to kill her for wanting to call the cops on him, and the fact that they're trying to claim it's BDSM. I've never once heard of BDSM like wanting to murder somebody.
Yeah, I mean that.
Especially coming from somebody that stabbed people.
What?
Yeah, yeah. He stabbed his
I thought you said you. I thought you meant like this is coming from someone who stabbed people, and I was like, wait a minute.
No, he
Marriage?
stabbed his ex-girlfriend.
Right.
And it's just nuts to me that she still continues to root for him.
Like, obviously, we've talked about, we're going to beat the dead horse with the I don't know these people that well, so I'm just, like, I'm prefacing whatever I say, because I don't want to say something and people will be like, you don't know this whole story, like anyone's going to defend these people. But, like, it just seems to me like her problem is, it's not knowing that he's a piece of shit. Like, he could do whatever, it's the fact that she just can't get over him. And he could do whatever. It just seems like until she gets over him or moves on, like she's gonna give him all the excuses, and like.
And I've even heard like they're still possibly in a 3-way relationship.
And you know that if he's doing stuff to that other girl, he's probably done physical violence stuff or at least threatened it to her. And this is not, this is usually it's a pattern. So I just think that youth being like, how can she not know? How can she still let him go? It's like, she's an idiot. That's it. I'm sorry. Like, that's the easiest way I can sum it up. Like, she's got her own fucking set of problems, and he's just part of that list, top of that list.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there. I'm sure she's going to have a clapback video to Repzion. I know she made a community post, which I commented on, and I may throw it into this video showing what I commented, because I feel like she totally missed the point of Repzion's video covering Nader. I feel like it was more of a PSA to people that may come across his channel, just telling them to watch out for him, because he is a predator. He is preying upon these women that are so gullible and so broken. Chantal, I feel like, is just a broken woman that feels like any kind of attention is attention that she feels like she needs from this man. Like, she's been paying for him just to have sex with her. Like, everything has been transactional in their relationship.
I gotta find a girl like that.
For real. Once you do, let me know.
Yeah, seriously.
But that's just, I feel, in one part of me, I feel bad for her, because I can't imagine falling in love with somebody and them essentially using you and knowing the right words to say to keep pulling you in, and wanting to still continue to like fight in their corner. Like, I can only imagine, and I can only imagine the fear that she has if she says or does something wrong, that he'll come for her, even though he doesn't have a license or transportation.
Come pick me up so I can beat the shit out of you.
And she lives a considerable ways away from him. So, like,
here's the thing. I feel bad in the sense of like, yeah, it's always sad when somebody you love doesn't love you back. But at a certain point, like, you're a grown-ass woman, you're an adult, and you need to act like it. Like, if she's old enough, because, she has a YouTube channel, she has all this stuff, and she obviously is like able-bodied enough to do certain things in her life. She needs to eventually, like, she needs to just grow up. Like, she's what, 40-something years old, right?
I think she's a year older than I am, 38. 39.
Right, and she's playing games like a kid, like, a love-struck kid, and at the end, like, she knows better. She just refuses to take the steps. And, from what you've told me, she's not the most, the best partner either, because she holds a candle for this guy, and then anybody else that actually shows interest in her, she essentially puts on a lower tier, and if he comes crawling, she dumps them. So, she gets what she deserves. And, like, nobody deserves violence against them, but she, if she's going to keep going back to this guy and, she treats other people like he treats her, then she's just going to she's getting what she deserves.
No, we don't say that.
What do you mean we don't
we don't say she gets what she deserves. Nobody deserves to be beaten.
I said
treated
not.
like that.
I said not the violence part, but I'm saying the like him not reciprocating the feelings towards her.
Yeah. I don't know. They're crazy. I feel like she feels like it's like a Bonnie and Clyde type deal. Like
Yeah, the criminal part is she's got down.
Yeah. But I feel like and also I like in the back of my head I feel like all of this is like their way of cashing in on views from their very, very convoluted audience. Like, we thought Amberlynn's audience was bad. Chantal's is like horrible.
Well, I think
horrible.
I think the difference is, and you know, I don't know how long you watch your video. I'll try to keep this short.
You're fine.
I think the difference is Amberlynn is just like it's a cycle, right? It's just woe is me. I'm fat, and like I don't want to be fat, and blah blah blah, and that's it. Well, where Chantal is more like her life is a fucking circus, and it's like Amberlynn, I think, is just like it's just infuriating. You know what I mean? Like it's infuriating to watch somebody complain, and not do anything about it, and so her audience is probably just at this point. There's people who, you know, are gonna troll or whatever, but I don't think that I think most of them probably have lost steam at this point. Whereas Chantal, it is more like bombastic, and it is not just about like, I'm big, I'm not gonna do anything about being big. It's like her boyfriend's stabbing people, you know, she's like, you know,
she's high all the time,
shaving her head and showing her puss or whatever. Like
karaoke.
Like she is like the extreme where it's like, I'll give her this. Like, it's never boring. Like, you tell me about Chantal and you tell me about Amberlynn. It's like, this is not the world I live in, and I don't go and seek their videos out. But obviously, Ashley does. So when I'm exposed to it, I'd way rather hear about what's going on with Chantal, because at least it's always going to be like, what the fuck? Amberlynn is just like, well, she's annoying. Like, she's just like, get over it. Essentially.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's kind of my reaction. Like, at this point, do something about it. Chantal is just like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Because your life is out there.
Yeah,
so.
it's pretty out there. Well, you guys, that's all for tonight. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and I'll be back with more content as soon as I can. If you guys liked Liam joining me on an episode of the podcast, he may be on for further episodes, just to kind of give another take on the information I have to share, and another opinion. But I'll be back as soon as I can with more content. Bye!
Bye! Is that good?